Greg, thanks so much for being with me today. Appreciate the time. Before we jump in, we're going to talk today a little bit about data and, how nonprofits are leveraging Fabric to really harness and tap into the power of their data. But first, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your role, and about Redapt.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been at Redapt for just over 4 years now. I'm in a role where I'm leading the application innovation group and also the advanced analytic group, which includes data science, ML, and AI, as well as all the BI functions and the data warehousing, data hubs, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I've been in my career. I've mostly been in data in some way, shape, or form my whole career. I love it.
That's fantastic. It's definitely the place to be.
Yeah.
I would say every conversation that I get into these days with nonprofit executives and different folks centers around data. There's a lot of key topics that lead into that around security, analytics, AI, but data is a common thread in these conversations, and because of that, Microsoft Fabric is been woven into a lot of these conversations, pun intended. Um, Tell us a little bit about Microsoft Fabric, what it is. I think there's a lot of knowledge that it exists, but really
Yeah.
give us that high level overview of Fabric and why is it such a game changer today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you can go out and look at the media and stuff like there, and they'll tell you straight up, it's end-to-end analytics platform. It brings together multiple capabilities and stuff like that. But when you kind of get past some of the market speak, you'll realize really quick that all the best parts of what Azure has had to offer before with regards to data engineering, data science, real-time analytics, and business intelligence, and now up and coming is their Gen AI stuff, is being woven into a single platform where and I feel like some cloud and a lot of cloud providers, including Microsoft, kind of struggle with we've got all these services and stuff like that, but it takes, an act of Congress within your organization to kind of utilize all the pieces. And so what makes it a game changer is ability to just consolidate all the analytics lifecycle just into one space and within the one lake. So all the storage that you have is just unified into the one lake, which is based on the ALDS Gen 2, so their data storage. And a trend that I'm really started to get excited about is Microsoft is recognizing that locating all the data in one space is a huge pain in the neck, and it doesn't have to be. So they're working with, Snowflake, Oracle. There a lot of their main platforms like D365. They have mechanisms where you can just, go into a wizard and set it up so it syncs all the data right into your one lake, essentially eliminating all the pain in the neck processes that you have to go to develop and maintain that landing zone. So it really is just they're just dumping it there for you. So I really, really like that. Uh,
Pretty
with
powerful.
Yeah, it is. With everything located in one space, it reduces all the data movement that you traditionally have. So that's also nice. And another key differentiator is that um, just the complex infrastructure. And I touched on that a little bit with all the stuff that you kind of piecemeal together, but that goes away. It's fully managed. You have really simplistic pricing options. Everything that you build within Fabric is included in that pricing structure. So it's really, really nice.
I love it. And when I hear you speak about this, Greg, I think about like for years I've supported healthcare and nonprofit organizations, and typically that is one of the biggest challenges that they face is these siloed data
Yeah,
repositories. How can they bring all that together, not only for the benefit of their employees, but also for the benefit of patients or constituents or whomever they serve? But let's be real, within the nonprofit organizations, a lot of these folks that are operating with constrained budgets. They may
yeah,
have short staff from an IT perspective. What are some of the key data challenges that these organizations specifically are facing?
yeah. You touched on some of them there. I mean, and we also talked about kind of like the disparate source systems. You've got, I mean, donor journey is huge. Fundraising is huge with nonprofits, and they always have, or typically the ones I've seen have a lot of custom systems that take care of specific channel operations. And being able to co-locate that data in one space in a unified platform that accepts, unstructured data and structured data alike and everything in between is really powerful. But that's really what they struggle with. also limited expertise. A lot of times they don't have kind of like the dedicated data engineering analytic teams, and they may struggle with some of the manual processes in traditional solutions. And then with budgetary constraints or just uh, kind of the unknown about how to manage the budget in a cloud where everything is all over the place, and how do I now go and create a solution to help me to notify and keep track of all the stuff that I'm building. So I think those are three of the main challenges they have, especially when moving out to the cloud.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Great insight. And I couldn't agree more. I think, a lot of these organizations today, their board is telling them, hey, we need to do more around data. We need to do more around AI.
Right.
Nonprofits are the second most targeted from cyber attacks after healthcare. And so, there's a lot of challenges that nonprofits are facing that I think it falls incumbent upon us to help eradicate and alleviate. Um, Obviously, you've been in the space a long time. I've been in the Microsoft ecosystem as well for some time.
Yeah.
What are you seeing in the day to day? Like, how is Microsoft and Redapt helping nonprofits overcome these challenges specifically?
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked about the One Lake and co-locating. There's also, the Power BI is a very, very popular solution. Nonprofits already use Excel, so a lot of the Power BI features are built right into that platform. So if you're used to the DAX or Power Pivot and things like that, and then when you adopt Fabric with Power BI, you can still use Excel. There's connectors right out there. So if you're more comfortable in that, you can put your data sets out there, connect to it, read only. It's really, really nice. I think that also uh, you talked about AI there and Copilot with Fabric, and then a lot of the other development solutions now. If you're not a code wizard, you can rely on Copilot to kind of draft it up. You can, talk it through what you want to accomplish, and it can help write a lot of that code. And smaller organizations where they don't need as complicated things, it can almost do everything for you, as well as giving you a very solid platform report. So, like if you want to say, hey, I'm looking for this type of information about these locations, write a report for that. It can give you a good foundation that then you can go in and then edit the report. So I think that's really, really nice. And then we talked about, Fabric being a fully managed service. A lot of times our customers are really liking that everything's in one place. They scale up in one place. If they spin up a Spark cluster, it pulls from that one funding area. So it's super easy to keep track of.
Amazing. When I think about this, Greg, I think one of the key elements around tying everything together, these these big ticket questions, around security and governance and around maintaining the privacy and security of data, and breaking down these silos, pulling this all together is of immense value. But for a
Yeah.
nonprofit, obviously, they're going to need to really understand a clear line of sight to ROI and understanding the impact that they're going to be unlocking. I know you work with nonprofit organizations.
Yeah.
I'd love if you could share an example of maybe, how a nonprofit has leveraged Fabric specifically to drive impact for their organization.
Yeah, and I think I'll dive a little bit deeper and be more specific about, the donor journey and optimizing that. Especially when you get into so we've worked with nonprofits where they struggle, different departments, the data is all disparate, it's all duplicated. People are making their own spreadsheets because they don't like, the systems.
Yeah.
So they get a spreadsheet, they start emailing people with their specific function, with their specific, requests, but other people are doing the same thing. And so you get this very scattered feeling from people receiving different emails or calls or literature in the mail, and things like that. And then when they do actually respond to those things, they have no way of kind of consuming that response. And that's where we get into it. There's basically in nonprofits with donors, there's outreaches and there's responses. Everything can really be broken down into that. Um, so, like I was saying with the One Lake, step one, consolidate that information. You know, you can bring in your email marketing, you can bring in your, IVR, your phone, history. You can bring in all of your web telemetry, bring it into one place, and then stack that up on top of each other so that you can see that this individual or some individual was, contacted X number of times in this order, and they responded after this specific type of messaging from a marketing channel. And then, if you're good enough and you have the right um, systems in place, you know what that message was, you know it was contained in it, you know if it contained an image of puppy dogs or mountains, so and then also when did they respond? If you're getting that telemetry and you know what messages you're sending, you know when they're responding and what they're responding to, then you can also say, hey, there's no point in us calling or emailing at noon on a Tuesday when look, they always respond to their email or click the web links at this time. Let's just send it to them 30 minutes before then so it's top of their list. So there's a lot of things that you can do in optimizing your message and finding trends and patterns about how people are engaging your organizational touch points. And if you can do that, then you can really make it easier on yourself and easier on them, and have a much more united front when you're doing your marketing. And then I think it just gets even better when you talk about, hey, now that we understand these things about our donors and what they prefer, let's start predicting it. We're bringing on we got this whole big list of people we're going to reach out to. We have history of what people like in different parts of the country are based on whatever demographics you have. Predict what those people might like, and just start with the baseline that you've established can be really, really powerful.
It's incredible to see the direction that, even our organization is going around these AI driven and predictive, proactive insights. And, just that ability to connect, all of these data sources, but then also to predict some of these patterns that make us more effective. And the fact that that technology is available for our nonprofits is game changing, especially when they can be resource constrained. And these things can help them conserve resources, but also be more effective when they
Yeah.
make the outreach. So it game changes volunteer management, donor reach out, et cetera. It's incredible technology. How did nonprofits get started? Obviously this is the land you live in. I'd love to hear,
Yeah.
how can a nonprofit go down this path? What are some of the resources that are available to them?
So first is getting a tenant and Power BI set up. I mean, a lot of people already have that, especially if they have like E3 or E5 licensing in place, and they already have like Power BI Pro. So really, there's try Microsoft for free, like Fabric trial. Uh, and so I think that's a good way, just clicking that and then having the trial be in place, and then you can start playing with things, looking up tutorials, leveraging existing skills, like I talked about. If you're used to Excel, then you can really get into Power BI pretty easily. There's no need for like advanced coding or data science skills, if you're just playing around with things. I think also a way to accelerate that is to engage with Microsoft and Microsoft partners. So Microsoft, I know, provides a lot of like nonprofit grants or discounts through its Tech for Social Impact program. And then organizations should be able to connect with their representatives from Microsoft or like partner account executives to learn about those funding opportunities. And then there's pilot implementations and roadmaps. A lot of Microsoft partners offer workshops and pilot programs to help you quickly kind of rip off the top of that black box, which is Fabric or the cloud. And they include, hands-on training, best practices, roadmap, and it's a good way to understand the expertise of the partner. If you go in and have a workshop and validate what they're saying online and things like that, and if you can tell pretty quickly if they've done the implementations or if they're just reading the same material that you are online. So yeah, I think those are the best ways to kind of just jump in with both feet.
That's a great call out. I mean, look,
Yeah.
there's a lot of our customers that I think are doing research today, and they're learning about Fabric and its capabilities, and there's interest and intrigue. But really being able to put the practical application, to really echo your sentiment, Greg. Microsoft invests in innovation, and so when there's opportunity to find funding dollars to invest in a partner like Redapt going down this path with you as a nonprofit,
Yeah.
these are areas where that's why my team and I exists. Microsoft Tech for Social Impact has been around for around 8 years, and our purview is really supporting our nonprofit partners and customers in a unique way, and ensuring that you're aware of all the resources that you're entitled to as part of that relationship with Microsoft. It's not lost on me that often, the biggest investment that a lot of our customers make is with Microsoft, but there's so much value that is continuing to be built out with the platform that is a strategic alignment and integration with all of the other tools that you use in your toolkit. You touched on a lot of them today, and I think that's really the power of Fabric, is being able to integrate with each and all of these data sources and put in place a secure system by which organizations can unlock the power of their data.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Very good. Greg, thank you so much. Greg Jones, practice lead for data and AI and app innovation at Redapt. And I'm Carson Heady. I'm the managing director for the Americas for Microsoft Tech for Social Impact. Anything else, Greg, that you wanted to hit on before we sign off today?
No, I think that's it. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Carson. It's been great talking with you.
Back at you. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
All right, take care.